Today I'd like to tie for you a GSS Woolybugger. The hook I have in the vise is a 2 extra long nymph hook. It is a size 8. I have a 3mm bead on there, and this is a gold bead. I'm going to take 15 thousandths lead wire, and I'm going to put a dozen wraps on there. Or close to a dozen. And I'm going to wrap this over, so that takes it over 12. Now the thread I'm going to use is black. This is 14-aught Visas. I literally like this thread. It is very strong. Surprised me how strong it really was. Wrap over the lead wraps a few times and take the thread back to the bend of the hook, right where the thread would hang at the barb. Break that off. I'm going to take black marabou, and this isn't a real large Woolybugger, so you don't need it really heavy. Of course, you can make it as heavy as you would like. You're going to be the one fishing it. I'm just going to take a smaller clump. This really puffs out in the water too. You have to keep that in mind. We want that to be about 1.5 the length of the shank. Tie that on. And bring that thread back. Whoop. And remove that excess. Trim it up there a little bit. And you can see I didn't wrap the thread all the way up to the eye. You're going to have a little bit of room there for a couple of wraps of hackle at the front. Going to use a black hackle, and this is a Indian hackle. This was a big cape. It's a basic farm rooster. I'm going to tie this in by the tip of the feather. And tie that down. Yeah, a little bit. I'm just going to fold over. It's all going to get taken into the body. And now I'm going to take my olive GSS material. I'm just going to pinch off some, and you can see it comes in long strands. Just dub that on. Lick your fingers, it helps it to go on easier. And don't be shy about putting this on. You could have a bit of a bulky noodle. I'm going to build this up just a little bit. If you have a bulky noodle, that's actually okay. I'm going to wrap that up to the front. And I need just another little pinch. And I want to leave a little bit of opening right at that front there. Don't want to crowd the bead too much. Consider the bead the eye of the hook on any other fly. So you keep it back one eye length. I'm going to attach my hackle pliers, and I'm going to bring the hackle all to one side. Make a complete turn right at the butt, and then start winding it in open wraps. Stroke that hackle towards the back as you go. And you can see it's getting fuller at the front. When I reach the thread, I'm going to take an extra wrap and tie it in. Then I'm going to take my poke and snip and remove the excess hackle. Nice and clean. I'm going to hold everything back. I'm going to wrap the head. Cut my finger. And just come back on it slightly, just enough to push the first couple of them towards the back. That's a little bit too much. Oh, you dirty devil. I'm going to wrap that head and just come back on the hackle like one thread width. Give it a whip finish. Take your head cement. And I'm not worried about getting the head cement on the bead because it's clear nail polish. But I got excess, so I'm just going to touch it off. Let me widen that out just a bit. And now I have a piece of Velcro. And I'm going to pull some of that GSS out. And stroke all of this back. Now that you got that GSS sticking out, and pull it out to what you desire. And here we have a GSS Woolybugger. And here we have another option on the GSS Woolybugger. I have the same size 8 hook in. It is 2 extra long. I have a 3mm bead. I'm going to take the 15 thousandths lead wire and put my dozen wraps on it. Push it forward and fold that last piece down. By putting the weight, all the weight at the front, it's going to give it a good jigging action in the water. Take my black thread once again, wrap in back of that lead, and take it forward, and take it back, and take the thread back to the barb, where the barb would have been. Nice base down there. Remove your excess thread. And now we're going to put the hackle in. We're going to tie that in by the tip, just like we did on the previous one. And I'm going to remove the excess and bring it back to the tail once again. Now I'm going to take a piece of the olive GSS and I'm going to measure it to be approximately the size of the shank, a little bit larger. And I'm going to tie that in right there for the tail. It doesn't matter if you make this too long, because this you can pull this apart. This excess I'm going to trim off, and I'm going to start using that for dub body. We're going to dub the thread with the GSS material. And I'm going to take that tail, and there you can see that loose stuff just pinched right off. It is very much stronger. The GSS is stronger when it's on the fly. Lots of numbers. United we stand. That goes for dubbing, peacock herl, ostrich herl. The more strands you have, the tougher it is. That's why my dragonfly made with peacock herl is indestructible. The body, you cannot pull that apart. Here we're going to wrap the body. You know, I'm going to take my hackle and I'm going to palmer that forward. First I'm going to pull the hackles to the one side. Since it's tied in by the tip, pull it back and up, and it will take all of the hackles to the one side. Then we're going to make a wrap at the tail and begin palmering it. And a friend of mine asked me to design this fly for him, and I think he had a pretty good idea here. I think this is going to work real well. I believe he's going to take this and use this on steelhead. This will work on the steelhead fine. I'm going to tie off that hackle. Put a couple wraps in front. Take the poke and snip and get rid of the excess. And now I'm going to take my whip finisher and whip finish that head. And right there is pretty nice, but I'm going to take the Velcro and pick it out just a bit. And here we have the alternative GSS Woolybugger. We have a GSS tail instead of the marabou, GSS body, and a black hackle. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, I thank you very much for watching my videos.